Good evening. Welcome our CS for Interior, Honorable Mkumen. Welcome to Northern Kenya. And tonight, welcome to Wajir, the land of milk and honey. Welcome, we are humbled to have you tonight. Tonight, we have the members of the Fourth Estate who are here tonight from the local media houses and also from the national television. We welcome you to Wajir. But before we start, we'll give an opportunity to my fellow Fourth Estate members, the journalists, to introduce themselves, who are the panelists. Welcome, so that we know who is in the house. Karibun. We start in front of me. You can start your name and your media house. Thank you.
Thank you, CS. My name is Abdurrahman Rashid Farah. I'm the founder of a media company called ARF Media Limited, an online digital media based here in Wajir County. Karibu Waziri Wajir.
Waziri, my name is Giverson Minor from Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC. I've talked to a few residents here, they call it Baba na Mama. That's the name to KBC. Asante.
Habari ya jioni, Bwana Waziri. Jina langu ni Hashim Jimal, nikiwakilisha runinga ya Citizen hapa kaunti ya Wajir.
Karibu sana Bwana CS. My name is Quresha Ali of Frontier Online. Frontier Online is a media platform that operates within Wajir and beyond. Thank you. Quresha Ali.
Welcome, Bwana and CS, to Wajir County. And I heard Madam alisema the county of milk and honey. Lakini wacha kwanza tumenyana, baadaye tutarudia hiyo honey. Welcome, sir. My name is Suleiman. I'm from Wajir FM Radio. Suleiman, Wajir FM Radio.
Asante sana. Jina langu ni Laban Shaban kutoka NTV.
Good evening, Bwana CS. I am Mandeka Ado from Radio Somal. It's a local station here.
Radio Somal?
Yes.
I'm Halima Kahia. I'm the station manager, Wajir Community Radio, a vernacular radio station that was established by the national government through the former Ministry of Northern Kenya. Welcome. On the farthest end, we have my other colleagues from the members of Fourth Estate who are our audience. We don't have any other public, so those are our journalists based in Wajir. Welcome, our brothers. Dear listeners and viewers, we are live on different media channels. That is Wajir Community Radio, Radio Somal, ARF Media, Asal Media, NFD TV, Kenya Online, and Organ TV. Therefore, you can give out your comment, views, as you listen to this interview with our Honorable CS for Interior, Honorable Mkumen. Welcome. Mheshimiwa, welcome to Wajir. I know it has been a tough 2 days traversing through northern Kenya. First and foremost, we would like to understand how your tour has been for the last 2 days and why you are here tonight in Wajir. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alima, and your team. Thank you for hosting me this evening. In this media interview, we yesterday and the day before, we visited the county number 44 in the Jukwaa La Usalama county tours. It's been a very interesting journey for us from the day we started on 7th of April in Mombasa. We have traversed various counties, various regions, and this is the second last region. We started by going to Mandera, the headquarters in Mandera on Monday, and today we were in Elwak. We had the privilege of, this is the only county, I mean, Mandera is the only county that we had Jukwaa La Usalama twice, just to accommodate the challenges of traversing these regions and to meet the rest of the sub-counties in somewhere closer because of the logistical complication of taking everybody to Mandera. First, let me say we are here because of Jukwaa La Usalama. The 2 days have been extremely interesting. We have had robust conversation about various challenges. As you know, in this northern part of the country, we have a unique challenge of confronting the problem of Al-Shabaab, being the only counties where we have our proximity to Somalia, and at the corner where our country has consistently been under attack for more than almost 14 years. Very happy to note the progress we have made as a country from the days that we had consistent attacks to now where our men on the ground, men and women on the ground are doing a fantastic job to keep off the enemy from this region. So that has been our 2 days conversation. That has been the top of the table. And then various other challenges that we face, security team, challenges faced by the citizens, connectivity, infrastructure. It is interesting how the more marginalized your county is, the more the security challenges. It is no accident that the ASAL counties are the ones that have the greatest challenges in our country. Number one being the threat of incursion or invasion by terrorist actors and banditry, all that plays around marginalized counties in the country. So there is a direct correlation between marginalization and insecurity. And so when we have these conversations, it's not in isolation. There is the greater conversation about infrastructure, about water access, about education, about network connectivity. All these issues are interconnected in the conversation about security. So every conversation about security is about development, because there cannot be security where there is underdevelopment, and there cannot be development if you don't secure the place. So there is really, it is like the chicken and the egg conversation. So I'm happy tonight. This media engagement is meant to help us converse about issues in Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, being the northern region, being our second last region, and then we will conclude our Jukwaa La Usalama with Nairobi County. Thank you.
Thank you, our CS, for that elaborate brief. Now I will invite our journalist. We'll start with the local. So I'll give opportunity Mander to ask a question. Karibu Mander.
Good evening again, Abwana CS. I am Mander Ado from Radio Somal. My question is, what is the government new strategies to improve security in northern Kenya? Thank you.
Basically, there are two things. One, external invasion in our country. First of all, in terms of what we've been doing to deal with Al-Shabaab, there has been continued investment in modern technology, better equipment, better vehicles that can withstand IEDs, reorganization of the officers to work together in a multi-agency form, equipping them, increasing our, giving them more aerial support, investing in more technology, including drones. This has enhanced our capacity to neutralize the threat that we continuously face from our neighboring country. Of course, you know that Kenya made a decision in 2011 to go into Somalia and try to deal with the problem inside there. That has led to a fairly pacified Somalia with a government in place, although it has its own challenges. So it's our consistent responsibility to engage that government from a multilateral perspective, especially through the Horn of Africa, through IGAD, through African Union. That continuous engagement, although the global community keeps losing concentration in supporting Somalia side. So this challenge will continue being there. But the best thing is that we have now greater buy-in by the citizens in this region, better information that we are getting. We're working with local community through the NPR. Citizens are sharing information with the security forces and so forth. Number two is that internally itself, there is a lot of work to be done to make sure that we equip our officers better. So part of the discussions today was to increase the deployment to this region of a more number of police officers, equip them with vehicles, construct more police stations, provide water points and distribution of water to these officers. To boost the morale of the officers, many of the police officers who are posted here as part of arid areas, they feel like if they overstay, it's like a punishment. So they feel their morale is down. So the IG is working on a clearer policy on deployment and time of transfers, so that some of the officers have been here for 8 years, 10 years, consistently in operational areas. That policy is going to be infused with technology so that the IG can have a view of who has been where for what period of time, and they will also firm up the time that will take to be, is it 3 to 5 years? And once someone is posted to an operational area or a frontier, then they should be taken to also other areas that has different challenges and lighter operational responsibilities, so that then their mental health is always, and so forth. So there is a lot of investment in the human resource inside here. We have also subdivided to reduce the period of time the distance that covered. We have supported the region by creating more sub-counties. Some have already been operationalized, some are yet to be operationalized. The more sub-counties we have, the more you have a county security team that will cover a shorter distance and therefore help in dealing with the security issues internally. We need to build good police stations in this region. The problem is all over the country, but we are planning to see how to work with MPs during NGCDF to make sure that you have better police stations. Access to justice also is a challenge. When we went to LWAC, part of the challenges that the police face is arresting people and taking them to court, and the court is in Mandera. So transport becomes an issue, the cost of transporting becomes an issue, and therefore it is important to converse with the judiciary so that we have courts, not mobile as such, but courts in different towns across this region, so that you don't depend on headquarters like Wajir, Mandera, and Garissa for greater access to just at least magistrate courts. That will help a great deal. So that's the kind of investment. The other challenge you face here security-wise that we need to do something differently is access to resources. Competition between clans and communities over water and over grazing area that leads sometimes to very dangerous conflict that leads to loss of life. We are working with our department in the ministry that deals with peace building is working with the elders to strengthen the peace structures. In the conversation today in LWAC, most of the elders were saying that there needs to be support of the county administration, the what we call national administration of the county, to be enhanced with AIE that will cover meetings and more barazas for sensitization and awareness among the communities, and to support areas where the communities have signed a peace deal, and then we help them to work together. So those are some of the few issues. And then long term, from the government perspective, is to implement the projects that are in this region. Of course, key among them is the road. The road is from Isiolo, Modakashe to, Abaswein, to this place, to Samatar, all the way to Elwak, Ramu, and Mandera, is extremely important. That's 749 kilometers. Is expected that when it is complete, it is going to reduce cases of insecurity by a big margin, because response time will improve, and that planting of IEDs by the enemy along the roads will come to an end, because when it is tarmacked, it improves security. That's why we are doing everything as government to provide security to the contractors to ensure that this work goes smoothly and it's completed in good time, so that the people can benefit. This is a big deal for government. There is also plans through the Ministry of Water to support more building of dams and boreholes, especially near settlements, so that it can cover schools, police stations, towns, and all those areas. I opine that in the next drafting of the vision for Kenya, in the next, there's a debate now whether we should do Vision 2030 or, another 2063 or 2060 and so forth. There's a feeling that the next vision is Kenya at 100, so a 2063 vision. That vision should be developed from now before the 2030 comes. And one of the key issues is to make these areas that were either called low potential areas to develop until these places people feel that they own their country, they are getting services in their country. If we don't do that, we will continue facing the challenges of insecurity. And key among them is the roads. If this is delivered, we need a road that helps us access, fall along the road from Mandera all the way to Marsabit, all the way to Moyale, up to Turkana. We need to have access to across our border as one way of making sure that we protect our country, and then the internal roads. And that's why we should also continue supporting county governments and to urge county government to invest their resources in developing the people and make sure that pilferages areas are sealed. So a lot can be said insofar as what is government doing. But in the immediate, we want to increase the deployment of officers to this region. We want to move the officers that have stayed here for long to other regions. So thanks to the recruitment that is beginning next month, once those officers are recruited and they have in training, even before they graduate, the Inspector General of Police has promised the residents that then he will do a reorganization to improve the strength of the police officers here, so that for better services. Lastly, the NPR. The NPR is here. We want to make sure that we have clearer visibility of NPR wherever they are in the country. The NPR policy is being worked out. It's almost coming to an end. And where we increase NPR, we want to make sure that they're properly trained, properly kitted, and they're supported in their allowances they get in good time, so that they can support the security team. Chiefs are saying that in their enforcement work, they will be better served if the NPRs who are from the locality are properly trained and properly instructed to work together with them. And in some cases, even today, they're saying that that will really improve the response time where there is an insecurity issue. But remember also that there is a dual challenge. We want to make sure that the NPR appreciate that they are police officers. They are not community officers. So we don't want a situation where when one clan is competing for pasture and water with another, the two NPRs from the two communities find themselves in that situation. And if the standing orders of the police apply to also NPR, because they are part of the National Police Service, so they must act nationally, not act at the interests of their community or their clan or family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our CS. You have really echoed the need of Northern Kenya, especially on access to justice. We have only one law court in Wajir, and we need more law courts to be open in entire sub-county. Also concerning sub-counties, Wajir is 56,000 kilometers radius, and you can just imagine access to service delivery. We need more counties, sub-counties. Thank you very much. Now I will give an opportunity my brother Abdurrahman to ask his question. Thank you. Welcome, Abdurrahman.
Thank you, Madam Halima, for that proper moderation. CS, my name is again Abdurrahman Rashid. I run a media company called ARF Media. First, this moment is a moment of history. It marks the first history media engagement with members of the fourth estate based here in Wajir, with a man with powerful dockets, Internal Security Minister. So we thank you for this interview. And my question is all about cross-border trade and security. As earlier you said, Kenya borders with Somalia, and of course Kenya has a good relationship with the diplomatic in the Somali government, but our borders are closed. So the head of states have promised a little bit earlier on reopening of the border between Kenya and Somalia, particularly here in Griley, Wajir, and of course, Deep sub-county around Wajir South constituency. And the borders are not yet open, and of course, I don't know, you much have better on to tell us why these borders are not reopening. And of course, as a region, we could benefit a lot once this border could be open in terms of trade, that is a legitimate trade by NCS, and of course, other businesses, and of course, insecurity issues could be go down. So what are the Kenyan strategy? What is the Kenyan strategy to reopen this border between Wajir and Somalia? Thank you.
I think, first of all, the question of the border is extremely critical and important. First of all, we are facing problems of smuggling of goods and contrabands coming to the country, and there is no mechanism for clear visibility of what is happening in some of the places, except where, of course, our security officers are always manning these areas. But still, to be honest, and in all reality, still goods come in, you know, still drugs come in. We still have problems of contrabands coming in and so forth. So the assessment, the only reason why these borders are not properly open now is a security issue. But we have good diplomatic relations with Somalia, of course. But you see, since they are rebuilding their country, they are still facing many challenges in terms of providing clear immigration services and border control services as a country. If the world had supported Somalia to the extent that they have proper hold of the entire country with greater coordination with the regional governments and then better border control services, it could be very easy to do so. But the other challenge that we have, of course, is the security challenge. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where, as a result of the border poorly manned, without support on the other side, that it becomes a weak point for us to get in persons who are not supposed to come and go out. And this is not a problem for Wajir only. It's Mandera. It is also Garissa. It's the whole network, the whole line itself up to Lamu, Kiunga. And therefore, as the security situation improves, both inside Somalia and along the border with Kenya, I think that is something that we must consider. We will continue engaging Somalia diplomatically to make sure that this is a priority for them. We will also continue engaging IGAD and AU and development partners and international partners to see how best Somalia can be helped so that that stability will help us open the borders. So otherwise, there's a potential for immense proper trade, except that now you have to weigh it against the prevailing security situations on the other side.
Thank you very much. Our CS will give opportunity now to Quresha to ask a question. Quresha, welcome.
Thank you so much, Halima. Once again, my name is Quresha Ali, and I ask, cross-border attack is a major concern, of course. What measures are being taken to secure the Kenya-Somalia border? Thank you.
Maybe I will, Quresh, thank you very much. I might have to repeat myself on some of the things that we have said, but basically we have enhanced the number of areas that we are giving coverage. So there are more presence of our officers on the ground in various areas based on multi-agency. We have better technology. We are continuing to invest in better equipment. We are also getting more anti-personnel carriers and mine-resistant, vehicles that helps us to deal with that situation in that region. That investment under what is called modernization program was established by the president when he came to office, and it has really improved the quality of the equipment that our officers have. Working with the various departments of government, treasury, parliament, we will continue appropriating resources to make sure that we equip our officers, make it stronger. We want also to make sure that the key thing is our presence. Our presence is extremely important, even as we engage now to Somalia government to see how best they can cover that part of the country, both the national and regional government, to also deal with the threat of Al-Shabaab on their own side. As I said earlier, the more we develop our country, the more the citizens here will play a critical role in dealing with also this threat. So long term, we must invest in our country, infrastructure, roads, education, health, and all these other facilities are going to make everybody be a proper stakeholder in national security.
Thank you very much, our CS. I will give now an opportunity to Suleiman, to ask his question, if you have any question, before we go to national media houses. Karibu, Suleiman.
And thank you, Bwana CS, and welcome again. And Bwana CS, as you know, human rights is enshrined in the Constitution, the 4th chapter, and the citizens, the first right that every individual, every citizen must enjoy is the right to live. And if you don't get or have the right to live, all your life is taken, then you cannot enjoy the rest of the rights that a person should have. And Bwana CS, as you know that, and we have a lot of abductions or forced disappearance in the country. And as we speak now, in Wajir County, a public servant, Mr. Hussein Abdurrahman, Huduma Center Manager, is missing for 2 months. I think this is the 2nd month he is nowhere to be seen or found. And what you know, Mr. CS, is that the president leading the current government, he promised the Kenyans during his manifestos that one of the major things or promise that he has taken is that he will bring an end to forced abduction or disappearance. And Kenyans have taken that into heart because we believed that this government belonged to hustlers. And it is the hustlers that are now disappearing or nowhere to be seen. Imagine it is the public servant that is missing. What about the common mwananchi? It is very unfortunate, Mr. CS. Now that you have the chance, the ball is on your court. What measures are you taking, or how can you bring back the trust that Kenyans have lost in this government when it comes to safety of their own lives? Thank you, Bwana CS.
First of all, let me say that any case of abduction of any citizen is not sanctioned by the government of Kenya. And abduction is not our mode of security operation. So that case of Abdurrahman has been asked in Parliament. I appeared before Parliament. The circumstances under which he got lost. I'm sure it is a gentleman who had certain medical history, and there was a concern about the whole circumstances under which he disappeared. And so let me assure you that, first of all, we do not have a policy for anybody to be abducted. The president meant it business. He said that abductions cannot be our mode of operations for security sector. And that is very clear. even where I sit, we do not condone any acts of abductions. And that's why where cases have been reported that someone has been abducted, investigations has always been thorough, some ongoing. Some have also led to situations where people were self-abducting. I'm not saying in this case of Abdurrahman, I'm just speaking globally that we have had cases where people have been found to have abducted themselves for political gain. Now, where a citizen has gotten lost, to conclude that he has been abducted would be, unless somebody has some evidence, you can't conclude that he's been abducted. And even when he has been abducted, who has abducted? Is it government officials or is it criminals? So that investigation will reveal such situations. And if any public servant is involved in acts of abduction, of course, they will be taken. They will have to answer to the law. But where criminals have done, like the way they did with our chiefs in Elwak, we are lucky that through community engagement by local leaders and community, our chiefs were saved. So where any citizen has information on the whereabouts of this missing person, it's important that they give it to the security agency so that thorough investigations can be done and the issue can be dealt with. Now, you talked about loss of faith. I don't think people have lost faith in this government. To be very honest, this government has done a lot in the security sector and done a lot to pacify areas that were either too insecure. Of course, if you compare what was happening before this administration came to office, where numerous cases and outcries about people being abducted, extrajudicial killing, and all those kind of things, we have made great progress to promote transparency in terms of investigations and to bring to an end any cases of abductions.
Thank you very much, our CS. Now I will give opportunity to national media houses. I will start with KBC, Mama na Baba. So karibu Mr. Maina, and if you have any question, you can tell us. Karibu.
Thank you, Alema. And again, my name is Giverson Maina from KBC. And as she says, it's the Baba and Mama of everybody else. And my question is, Waziri, that for 2 days that you've stayed here in the northeastern Kenya, when there is insecurity challenges in the north, there is a whole impact in the whole country. It ripples down. There's a ripple effect all the way to Kisii. To people feel like there is threat coming all the way from the north, and it's spreading so fast across the country. That's how people feel. And so I want to take you back to February when these 5 chiefs were abducted. It was, in the first time, it was unbelievable that chiefs could be abducted and taken away out of the country or wherever they were taken to. But I know you've spoken to them at a personal level. Could you mind to share with us just a little bit of their personal story? What is the story of these 5 chiefs that went missing for 2 months and then they came back? Are they hurt? How are they doing mentally? How are they physically? Did those criminals break their legs? How are how are their family, doing? And then are these chiefs back to office? Are the rest of the chiefs in Mandera still afraid of their lives?
Let me say that of course, there are many things that cannot be said now. First, let me say that when the chiefs came back, there have been efforts to make sure that they have supported in terms of counseling, in terms of reintegration, in terms of debrief, and that there is no hurry on the part of government to try to know what happened from them. I think let that process move slowly, Of course, relevant officers have been engaging them to see how best they can be supported. And we must thank them because, today I engaged them. You saw the engagement today. 2 of those chiefs have since retired, and then 3 are still in office. The elders who were involved in the pursuit and negotiations were also present today. And so that incident was extremely unfortunate, but it helps that there are people locally here who have who managed to engage, you know, and we must be frank. It was thanks to the elders in the community that they were able to pursue this process. Maybe if it was combat, if it was combat, maybe the story would have been different. But because the elders, you know, many Kenyans never appreciate and understand the context of which we are operating here, to appreciate that this boundary is not scientific, it is political. It was just put by colonial government. So the dynamics between us and our neighbors in terms of clans, knowing each other, families and so forth, is just the same way in Namanga between the Maasais in Namanga and the ones in the other side. In Busia, you know, the families from the Samias on this side and the ones on the side of Uganda, or the Teso in Kenya and Teso in Uganda, or the Sabaot in Kenya and Sabaot in Uganda, or the Pokots in Kenya and Pokot in Uganda. Those dynamics play a very important role when you are dealing with local challenges that are in the place. And that really, in this situation, played a positive role in trying to salvage, to protect our officers. Of course, there was tactical and tacit kind of engagement from the local government officials here and the county government, the leaders, which really played a very important role to bringing them back. You know, what is our dream as a country? The questions that every Kenyan should ask themselves, how is this situation going to unfold in the next 30 years? You know, what is our best dream? Our best dream is that Somalia gets organized. You know, they put this militia group into, you know, reintegrate them to their society so that we go back to the old normal life where families on both sides can engage, business, trade can happen. He had asked the question about, you know, border opening and so forth. If it was not for this threat of Al-Shabaab, across the place, both families are there. We are not in a hurry to try to know so much about them. There is time. These are serving chiefs. They are going for training. We want to continue to retrain them and continue supporting them. And we are very happy that they are alive and they came back home. Again, some Kenyans who do not know where Elwak is, they need to be guided to Google that it is that corner before the other sharp corner in the map of Kenya. Because, and they should know that, you know, the town in the Elwak is just next door is you know, a settlement and a small shopping center next to the place. So people are all over the place. And also, not everybody across the board is an Al-Shabaab. There is also people going about their business who are in Somalia, citizens who are going about, and they are praying like us. They hope that there can be order also in that side so that they can go about their business. And those are the people who are very instrumental in helping our security, our elders to get back our chiefs to come back home.
Maybe.
Do you know why I went into detail to this question? Because there are some ignorant people, yeah, who rarely leave their home state. Yeah, maybe they have been in Mandela for the first time when they held a very high office for one day in an urban area. So in his head, because the chiefs were saved, it must be that Kipchumba has contacts with some Al-Shabaab. So his mantra is that we meet and talk with Al-Shabaab. Therefore, I was very sad because, you know, the impression he was creating is that he was very sad that the chiefs came back. Because when he was asked, how do you know that the minister engages Al-Shabaab, he said, but because they talked and the chiefs came back. That's a very stupid person, because if the first thing you think in your head is that you conclude that I thought every well-meaning Kenyan should be celebrated, saying whatever it took during our border. But for you to reverse a success of return of our chiefs, and then you start saying, because the chiefs, why did the chiefs national interest? And when there is national interest, the conversation should be towards a united.
Inahusiana na national. It's a Kiambu and Machakos and Maseno. Police officers abducted a businesswoman in Kiambu, and it was stolen by police while inside Maseno police. It was restored as an exhibit. The final question is, Lawyer Mbobu, murder in
Administration Police Service, Mr. Masengeli is also here, and the DCI, who is the son of the soil. I think we are some meters away from his house. I will give him the mic. But let me first say that we have acknowledged meant for transparency, accountability, and to punish those who involve themselves involved in robbery, because DCI arrested them. Yeah, if they bring up when it becomes police officer, and we have no shame. The IG has no shame. The National Police, the ministry has no shame. There is a police officer who is involved in robbery. Those officers are sacked. They are taken to court. They take personal responsibility, and such characters in the National Police Service, and the punishment is severe, so that then it can become a less of themselves. That is the same as those who engage in abductions, extrajudicial, and all those. Once you engage in proper punishment for those who do things against the law, then you have the confidence to say that the police service is clean. So let me say that the same way I use a lot of energy to defend the police is the same energy we use to deal with those who are errant police officers, because those are the ones who pull us back, who give the critics of the National Police Service some fodder to hang on, and that must be dealt with. Again, on the question of lawyer Mbobu, Chalo Mbobu, whom I have acknowledged before that he was my friend and he was my teacher, and we taught together as well. That investigation that is ongoing has been dragged for these 2 weeks or so, but I can assure you that the DCI is doing everything possible to get all the links, the leads, the motive, to see how best he's going to address this issue. And if it's okay with you, it would be nice to give the DCI 1 minute to say something about those two issues. I think DCI, in maybe 1 minute, you can add something to what I've said.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like, first of all, to comment on the question relating to enforced disappearances and abductions. Like the CS has said, as a country and as officers of the National Police Service, we don't have any policy on issues of abductions and enforced disappearances. We respect the constitutional rights of our citizens and their freedoms, and that is very well enshrined in our constitutions. As relates to the issue of the Huduma employee who disappeared, we have exhaustively investigated the matter, and we're still continuing with our investigations. And in as much as the matter is before the High Court and the Senate, I would like to assure Kenyans that we are on top of that investigation. We were able to retrace the movement of the missing person. We were able to interview the family members and the colleagues. And we have so far not established any evidence whatsoever of abduction or enforced disappearance. Unfortunately, it has become fashionable to describe anything these days as an abduction or an enforced disappearance. Even in situations where police officers conduct legitimate arrests, even in obvious situations of missing persons, they are always labeled as enforced disappearances and abductions. And I think that is a mentality we need to discourage as a country. So the matter of the missing Huduma employee is still open to investigations. I'm not saying that we are ruling out any enforced disappearances. I'm not saying that we are ruling out any abductions, but so far we have not established any evidence, any iota of evidence relating to his enforced disappearance. So on the matter of police officers engaged in robberies with violence, the matter has been very well prosecuted by the CS, and I may not have anything much to add to. Suffice to say for the fact that as regards the Maseno matter, we have already identified the officers involved in the theft of that exhibit vehicle, and this morning we were in discussion with ODPP so that the officers can be prosecuted for that offense. As regards the unfortunate death, the tragic incident relating to lawyer Mbabu, again, it is a matter under investigation. The other day before I came here, I engaged the media and updated them on the status of our investigations. And just like all other murder incidents, we are keen to fast track and to make sure that all the perpetrators are apprehended as quickly as possible. And immediately that is done, we are going to share the same with the members of the public and fellow Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DCI. IG?
Thank you very much, sir. I just want to add something very little on what has been said by the CS and the DCI. That number one, there's no policy for abduction, but police carry out legitimate arrests where someone has committed an offense. And if it is established that it is true you have committed an offense, then we are due to take you before a court of law so that you can be able to answer to your questions. On the matters of police officers turning into criminal activity, as the CS has said, let me make it very clear that we have some very good police officers. However, like every other society, we also have a few who have got problems. For example, the case that you have just mentioned on a vehicle having been recovered and then stolen from a police station. And the DCI has said we have already arrested 8 police officers who are connected to that criminal offense, and the investigations are ongoing. For the case, for the Kiabu case that have also been referred here, we have already arrested 3 police officers and handed over that case to the Independent Policing Oversight Authority so that they can be able to carry out an in-depth investigation into that. That is how open we are. The other day, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, I did invite EACC to come and review our systems, to look at our procedures, to look at our SOPs, where, and if there are gaps that can be identified, be it in training, be it in whichever area that involves policing, they can be able, they easily assist us to look at the gaps and how best we can be able to manage or close those gaps. That's how serious we are on matters corruption. We are right now from Erwak. Yesterday we were in Mandela. Those were his closing remarks, that corruption can never be around within the security sector. The officers are well advised. However, if there is any who is to be involved on corruption matters, then he will carry his own cross. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Alima, sorry for being turning myself to be a moderator, and I'm not. I was just giving them a few minutes to add.
Thank you. Thank you, our CS, our CID boss, our son, Mohammed Amin, and our IG. Thank you for your contribution. I will give now opportunity to Laban Shaban from NTV to ask his question. And from there now, we will go to our audience because they are really pushing me hard so that I can give them opportunity. Laban, karibu.
Asante sana Lima. Bila kubananga muda na kuwanyima wale hadhira pia fursa ya kuuliza maswali, nitaanza na swali ambalo Giverson alikuwa amelitaja, kwamba wale chifu ambao walikuwa wamekamatwa, wametekwa nyara kisha kurejea. Je, ipo hofu? Ni kweli nataka kuzingatia kwamba kwa heshima na shukrani kwa sababu wako hai. Je, ipo hofu kwamba waliowakamata na kuwateka nyara kwa zaidi karibu miezi miwili na zaidi, ipo hofu kwamba waliminya vidokezo vya operesheni za maafisa hapa kukabiliana na wanamgambo wa ugaidi? Na ndiyo sababu pengine unabana, si mengine utaeleza sana kwa sababu pengine ya hatari ya hayo mawasiliano, na itakuwa na athari gani kwa tuzo ambayo utatoa hivi karibuni kwao, na wakipewa tuzo hiyo itakuwa na maana gani kwa chifu wa eneo hili na wananchi kwa ujumla, pengine kushirikiana na serikali kuimarisha usalama? Ya pili ni katika utathmini wa miaka mitatu wa utawala wa Rais William Ruto, imebainika kwamba mashambulizi ya wanamgambo wa ugaidi yameshuka, lakini kinachoonekana kikiwa juu ni kwamba athari imekuwa kubwa sana. Ukiangalia katika maafa, idadi ya maafa imepanda, na uharibifu wa miundo msingi kama ya mawasiliano, pengine kutibua operesheni ya serikali kukabiliana na hatari hizo. Na wakati waziri, samahani, wakati unaangalia serikali inapoangalia vidokezo hivyo na kuweza kuimarisha usalama na kuingia uwanjani na kutibua, kwa sababu jua wakati mwingine huwezi kutuambia kweli umetibua mashambulizi fulani kama ulivyosema awali, nimekufuatilia kwa muda kidogo. Je, ina maana kwamba wakati serikali imeimarisha juhudi zake za kukabiliana na ugaidi, pia hawa wanamgambo pia wanaimarisha mashambulizi yao, na kwamba serikali ipo nyuma yao? Kila wakati serikali iko nyuma yao, wanaenda wapi na vitu kama hivyo, na wakati wanamteka nyara pengine afisa ambaye ndio uwepo wa serikali mashinani, inakuwa ni hofu kubwa kidogo kama wamerudi. Je, mawasiliano bado yapo? Na swali langu la jingine, naomba mnipe muda tu kidogo niulize hili swali. Umezungumza si mara moja kwamba mashirika mbalimbali ya serikali, viongozi wanashirikiana ili kuimarisha usalama. Manake wanavyosema Waswahili, kijinga na kijinga ndipo moto uwakapo. Na nitagusia swala la Mandera na BP1 kama alivyosema gavana wa Mandera Aden, kwamba hapo awali alisema kwamba wapo maafisa wa kijeshi kutoka Jubaland wameingia. Na aliposema hilo, kauli ambayo ilifuata kwako ni kwamba hamna mambo kama hayo. Na kama ni mashirika ambayo yanashirikiana, je, kuna unyongofu katika ushirikiano huo? Kama gavana ambaye ni wa eneo hilo anasema hili, alafu serikali ya kitaifa inasema hili. Mafunzo ya chifu ni swala ambalo umelitaja waziri, ukasema machifu NPR wanakosa kuwa na ujuzi na taaluma mbalimbali. Je, inatuonesha kwamba kuna udhaifu pale, na serikali imekosea wapi kukuwa na maafisa ambao hawajapata mafunzo? Na katika hali hiyo pengine ndio sababu kunakuwa na hatari mashinani. Swali la mwisho ni kuhusu mwanahabari wa Standard Collins Kweyu, alikuwa amekamatwa Ijumaa na kuzuiliwa katika kituo cha polisi cha Central, kwamba anafuatilia habari kuhusu jaji ambaye anasemekana kwamba amechukua hongo. Ni madai, lakini kwa sababu ya kesi fulani ya shamba kule Trans Nzoia upande wa Kitale. Ningependa kujua uchunguzi huo unakwenda wapi na nini serikali inafanya. Asante sana.
Asante sana Bwana Laban Shaban. Kwa maswali yako mengi, ulikuwa unalenga tu kutafuta penye serikali imekosea. Sasa yote unasema serikali imekosea wapi? Hakuna mahali serikali imekosea. Kwanza ni vizuri umesema vizuri kwamba tangu serikali hii kuje katika ofisi kumepungua ile attacks yenye inatokana na wakaidi kutoka huko Somalia. Na singependa kusema kwa sababu sio serikali hii ama serikali iliyopita. Nadhani kwamba tangu 2017 hapo kukuja mbele hadi sasa kumekuwa na gradual process ya kupungua kwa hizo attacks. So kwa hivyo hata serikali iliyopita iling'ang'ana kujaribu kudhibiti shida yenye tulikuwa nayo. Sisi ambao tulitumika na Rais Uhuru katika serikali hiyo ya Jubilee, tungependa kusema kwamba wakati tulikuwa mula ya kwanza ilikuwa ni shida sana. Na ilibainika kwamba shida moja ilikuwa ni kwamba kila moja tulikuwa kama ile jengo la Babeli. Kila idara ya serikali ilikuwa inafanya kazi kivyake. Ndio uliona 2016-17 hii multi-agency approach ikawekwa msingi zaidi. Na ili tumefanya na ikaendelea kuboreshwa. Ndio unaona by the time ilikuwa inafika 2022 kuna progress. Hata wakati Rais Uhuru alikuwa na retire tulikuwa tumefanya progress kubwa katika idara ya security kwa sababu ya kufanya kazi pamoja. Ile serikali hii imefanya ni ile inaitwa modernization program. Hiyo modernization program imesaidia sana kuhakikisha kwamba afisa wetu ambao wanashughulika wamepewa uwezo ya kiteknolojia na uwezo ya kujilinda, ikiwa pamoja na ile magari na silaha ambayo inawawezesha kuwa mbele ya adui zaidi kwa ile kazi ambayo wanafanya. Na unaona imeboresha hiyo kazi. Pia maafisa ambao wako wameendelea kuwa trained kwa njia tofauti tofauti na wameweza pia kuelewana na kusaidiana na wananchi. Uhusiano nzuri zaidi ya wananchi inasaidia katika kutupatia ujumbe ya wale wagaidi ambao wanajaribu kuharibu usalama katika taifa letu. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi tukashinda peke yetu bila kuona kwamba wananchi wanahusika. Na kama vile nilikuambia hapo awali, jamii zote mbili ni jamii moja kwa njia moja ama nyingine. Na ikiwa utapata wananchi wa sehemu hii wasipotoa habari, itafanya kazi ya askari ikuwe ni ngumu. Lakini wamekuwa sana wakitoa habari, wakishirikiana na sisi viongozi na kila mmoja. Na imefika kiwango kwamba hapo zamani hata kuongelelea jina Al-Shabaab wananchi wengi hawakuwa wanataka kusema hata jina hilo. Lakini ukiona kwamba wananchi wamepata nguvu ya kusema hii shida ya Al-Shabaab iondolewe, viongozi wanaongea wazi, inamaanisha wako na imani na uwezo ya serikali kupambana na hao majangili, na wako na imani ya kwamba wakisema ni huyu bwana ndio anashirikiana na wao, watachukuliwa hatua ya kisheria. Hiyo imani ndio inafanya ushirikiano ikuwe bora zaidi na inasaidia kupambana na ili shida la insecurity ya mambo ya Al-Shabaab. Kitu kingine ambayo ningependa kusema ni kwamba umesema pengine uhusiano yetu ni kwa njia gani ambayo ama ni hatari gani inawezekana kuwepo kwamba wale machifu walitoa habari ambazo zinaweza kuharibu ama kuangamiza ama kutoa siri za kioperesheni. Ujue kwamba watu wachache sana wako na uwezo ya kuwa na hiyo siri ya kioperesheni. Na mambo ya operesheni sio mambo ya chief. Chief kazi yake ni kusaidia kwa kuorganize wananchi. Kazi ya chief hana uwezo ya border control, mambo ya hiyo hapana. Chief kazi yake ni tofauti. Na kwa hivyo hata mtu akichukua chief apeleke wapi, haina uhusiano yoyote na ile kazi our special teams yenye nafanya security na concern. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni kitu ya kwanza kwamba chifu hajafikia ama haikubaliki kisheria kwamba afikie kiwango gani ya mambo ya operesheni. Ni kama tu wafanyakazi hata katika wizara ya Interior. Hatuwezi tuenda kukaa chini na wale wanafanya mambo ya operesheni na kusema mnaenda wapi, mnaenda na nani, mnakaa wapi. Hapana, hiyo ni kazi ya IG na timu yake, na anajua, na ni siri ambayo inapewa tu watu wachache sana ambao wanaijua. Pia tuko na imani na chiefs wetu. Tuko na imani na wao. Jinsi ambavyo tumefanya kazi nao na vile wamejitolea katika taifa. Ukiona kwamba walitoka pale na wamerudi wakaendelea na kazi, ni kwa sababu tuko na imani na hawa, na tuko na uwezo ya kujua ni jinsi gani ni uhusiano gani wamekuwa pamoja na majirani. Hata kama ni magaidi, kama kuna chief anahusiana na mambo ya ugaidi, tungekuwa tumekundua kitambo sana na hatungewakubali waendelee katika ofisi. So tuko na imani na wao kwamba walijipata katika shida, na hiyo shida iliwaweka katika hali mbaya. Nashukuru walirudi, hawakulipa mtu yoyote hongo, na haki ilifanyika kwamba walirudishwa kupitia ile uwezo ya wazee na local community kusimama also imara, kusema kwamba hatuwezi kukubali machiefs wetu waondolewe, wachukuliwe, na nyinyi mandugu zetu jirani mnajua ni nani amechukua. Hata kama ni magaidi lakini wanatoka sehemu zenu, toeni machiefs wetu warudi. Na ninafurahi kwamba kwa hali hiyo, bila kulipa chochote, bila mambo yote, machiefs wetu walirudi, na tuko na imani. Ile tunataka kufanya kwa machiefs ni kuwapatia support. Hiyo ilikuwa trauma. Nilifurahi sana kwamba hata yule chief ameretire alikuwa anaongea kwa njia ya yani amepona, ako na nguvu, na sasa anajishughulisha na mambo ya amani, kumaanisha kwamba upendo wa taifa lake, ni mzalendo, anataka kuendelesha uhusiano bora ya wananchi katika sehemu hii. Pia umesema kwamba mambo ya ile Mandera, Jubaland Forces, Somalia National Army, ile kutosikilizana kwa Somalia na vile ina affect nchi yetu. Unajua kwanza kwamba Shaban, kama tungekuwa na wakati jana, ingekuwa ni vizuri, ama ni vizuri wa Kenya waende wapike picha, wajiulize Somalia ni wapi na Kenya ni wapi kwa Mandera. Kwanza ni vizuri ujue kwamba town ya Bulahawa na ya Mandera, hata ukioverfly hapo juu, ni the same houses. Hii nyumba moja iko hapa na nyumba nyingine hapo. Unajua, kwa sababu watu wanaongea theoretically, kwa akili yao theoretically, kwa kichwa watu wanafikiria watu walitoka mbali wakakuja Mandera. Hawaelewi kwamba town zote mbili zimegawana tu directly. Unaweza ongelesha mtu mwenye ako pande, umsalimie, muongee, ni kama kwamba mko the same place. Hakuna wall imejengwa ati kuna mnara mkubwa sana yenye inagawa sisi. Kwa hivyo wakati kuna shida kwa upande wa jirani, na jirani ndio huyu tu ako kama penye huko na mimi niko hapa, utafika border point 1 usimame hapa, Shaban usimame hapa, wewe useme uko Somalia, mimi niko Kenya. Iwapo mko na shida kati ya serikali ya huko na regional government na nini, hiyo impact ni direct, kwa sababu ni border, ni hapa. Unaiona hata waziwazi inaingia, kwa sababu unasema kwa nini watu wakikosana kwa hapa, ile impact ya hiyo kukosana inafikia hapa, na hata mtu akisukumwa hivi anaweza anguka kwa upande ya Kenya. So you need, hiyo inafaa kuingia kichwa ya watu kwanza, ndio waelewe why wale walikuwa na lalamika, viongozi walalamika, governor nani, ni kwa sababu ya hii proximity ya nchi. Na tuwezi kusema tokeni, mtoke Somalia, kwa sababu mtoke karibu na sisi, because hiyo ni nchi yao, hapo ndio wanaishi. Challenge ni sasa, kama wewe ni serikali ya Kenya, unajaribu kuengage, hayo sio nchi yako, lakini unajaribu kuambia mkipigana muende mpiganie mbali kidogo, ndio kitu isiangukie Kenya. How do you engage in that situation? So it's a complex issue that is not like some of those people huko wako tu kwa villages zao wanafikiria ni hivyo tu, ni kwamba. So wakati unakisikia Wakenya wakisema kuna forces wamefika Kenya, si lazima wakuwa wamekanyaga Kenya. Wakiona tu ndio hii imekaribia kwa boda, hiyo wasiwasi inawatia, inapatia uoga wanafunzi wenye wako shule, inapatia uoga watu walikuwa kwa market, kwa sababu wanaona hii kupigana ya hii watu karibu na kwetu inaweza jifikisha ifike nyumbani, ndio inaleta wasiwasi. That is why technically hawajafika Kenya, but the impact imefika Kenya, ndio inapatia wananchi wasiwasi. Sasa zingine pia wale ambao wameumia wanatorokea Kenya. Ukweli ya mambo ni kwamba watu kwa Somalia wakiumia, hata wengine wanakimbizwa hospitali Mandera, kwa sababu na huwezi sema haya wewe mwende mtibu ama ukufe kama usiingie hospitali. Hao ni binadamu, hao ni ndugu zetu, hao tuko na uhusiano nzuri. So hizo challenges sio vitu ya kwenda kufanyia siasa kwa rallies, kwa sababu ni security technical challenges. Lakini kwa sure wa Kenya, shida ya Kenya sio Somali National Army. Shida ya Kenya sio Jubaland Forces. Atupigane na Somali National Army, atupigane na Jubaland Forces. Somali National Army hawana interest ya kuumiza Mkenya. Jubaland Forces hawana interest ya shida yetu ni moja, ni Al-Shabaab. Hiyo ndio lazima tuweke akili yetu kusema our energy is to deal with the security problem where it is, not to deal with, not to worry so much about, our worry about the other difference and conflict is long term because we want Somalia to become safe. But it is not an immediate threat to our republic. The immediate threat to this nation is Al-Shabaab. It's not Jubaland Forces. It's not Somalia National Army. That is their local conflict. The conflict we are facing is because of Al-Shabaab. And therefore, let's not divert attention. The attention that many people want to divert to us to go to solve the local challenges in the other side, we are not going to buy into that. And that's why when we tell people we are safe, we are safe. And we continue encouraging that Somalia becomes safe so that people can move further away. The last question you had asked was about training. Training is continuous, but some of our chiefs have not been trained for many years. So what we did in this government is that even our police officers, many police officers leave Kikanje training and then they don't, many years before they get trained. Now, why is training missing in Kenya for public servants? It's because the budget. Every time we have pressure on our budget, the budget for training is removed. Now, thank God for Jukwaa La Usalama. Officers are speaking publicly about their problem. They're talking about a series of problems of fuel. Yeah, they're struggling with their problems of, they're openly talking about problems of fuel. They're openly talking about training problems. They are talking openly. So because these issues are being raised in Jukwaa La Usalama, and because we did not go for Jukwaa La Usalama as a talk shop, we must solve these problems. And how do you solve it? We had to go back, negotiate with Treasury, negotiate with Parliament to get money for training. And that's why you see we are training all the chiefs. By the end of this year, they will have gone through mandatory basic training on their work. That's why the police have restored the training. In fact, the IG has renovated one of the training centers in Western just the other day. Regional training facilities are being renovated, police officers to have workshops. The other day, the IG invited me to go and close OCS's conference where they went for refresher course, and most of the OCSs went there for a week. They came back and said, this is what we have been looking for. So we, as part of revitalizing our security sector, we want our officers to go through these trainings to get into latest technology, knowledge, and so forth. On the question of Collins, let me say that I listened to Collins myself being interviewed in one of the channels online or by one of the media houses online or wherever. And it was very clear he wasn't blaming government, he wasn't blaming police, he wasn't blaming anything. I think the complainant was related to a different dispute out there that somebody implicated him on the issue of a judge and another person was asking money, someone returned my money and so forth. So because this is a complaint from public and that he was implicated, of course, he had to be arrested and record statement, and the process of investigation is going on, and I'm sure that when the time comes, he will be charged. I don't know if he was charged But, you know, that process is ongoing. Maybe take advantage of DCI is here. He should be able to tell you. But, you know, the police service cannot get a complaint from public, and then they just go, they fail to investigate or to arrest or to charge. And I think working together with DPP, that should be the situation. Maybe in 1 minute, DCI again.
I think that's exactly the situation. Collins was arrested on the basis of a complaint filed against him in Bogori. I really will not want to dwell on who was the complainant, because that does not guide our investigations. The social status of a person does not guide our investigation. Any citizen, any person who lodges a complaint, we are duly bound to make sure that that investigation, that matter is investigated very properly. Following the arrest of Collins, that matter was brought to my attention by my officers. And since he's a person who is well known, he was not a flight risk, he's a person who fixed aboard and he knows where he works, I directed my officers to release him as we continue building the evidence against him. The matter is still under active investigation, and if there's any evidence of culpability on his side, of course, after discussing with ODPP, then appropriate action will be taken against him. Thank you.
Thank you, Alima.
Thank you very much. Hashim has a burning issue concerning the chiefs. Before we go to the audience, Hashim, just a minute, please.
Bwana CS, kuhusiana na masuala ya machifu, jana ukiwa Mandera sema ya kwamba uamuzi wa kuwapa machifu mabunduki ulichochea hilo swala. Pengine unaweza tuambia kwamba maafisa wa serikali ama maafisa wa polisi wameshindwa na kazi yao?
Asante sana. Ndio, ni swali nzuri. Tuliposema kwamba machifu watapewa bunduki, hatukusema machifu watakuwa polisi. Hapana. Kuna Firearm Licensing Board ambayo iko, wacha nianze kwanza kwa kusema jukumu la serikali kulinda wananchi kupitia idara ya police service ni lazima kwa wananchi wote na wafanyikazi wote wa serikali. Na tayari wananchi na maofisa wa serikali wanalinda kila mmoja kwa sehemu hii na kwa sehemu zingine za Kenya. Lakini kumekuwa pia na ya pili ni kwamba kusema hiyo jukumu nilishasema hapo awali, kwa hii northern part of the country tunaongeza namba ya polisi. IG na National Police Service ili establish National Government Administrative Police Unit yenye itasaidia administrators wetu kufanya enforcement. Itakuwa ni independent unit commanded by a police officer but available for complaints. Na ile kazi zenye administrators wanafanya itapatia support. Vile tu tuko na polisi wenye wanasaidia Ministry of Mining, polisi wenye wanasaidia the other ministries, tumeestablish also ya kusaidia administrators, especially chiefs wengi wanaumizwa wakienda kufanya enforcement mambo ya pombe, when they are trying to solve community conflicts in the middle ya katikati hapo, kama hakuna security wanaumizwa. Wakati wanafanya mambo ya baraza ya kuhamasisha watu kwa mambo fulani, saa zingine furugu inatokea wanaumizwa. Saa zingine watu tu wanakasirika na serikali, na kwa sababu the only officer ya serikali kwa sehemu hiyo wanafanya maandamano yao, wanaenda kuchoma kwa chief, especially watu ya pombe na mambo mengine. Kwa hivyo chiefs tutawapatia that National Government Administrative Unit, which is plan yenye inaendelea kusonga mbele. Lakini kuna aina sehemu mbili ambayo chiefs wanasikia kwamba maisha yao iko hatarini. Sehemu za banditry, kwa sababu wanaishi kwa community. Remember, ingawa polisi wako Kenya, hawezi kuwa kwa nyumba ya kila chief na assistant chief na kila mmoja hivyo. Kuna watu watasikia kwa mwili yao kwamba watachungika zaidi wakikuwa na firearm. Na sio chief peke yake. Civilians wengi, lawyers, doctors, engineers, members of parliament, MCAs, kuna number of them wakipitia ile procedure inakubalika kwa sheria, wanapata bunduki under what is Firearm Licensing Board. sasa wanakuwa vetted, wanapata. Na tuko na Wakenya wengi wewe unajua kwamba kuna Wakenya wengi ambao wameapply firearm na wana abide by the rules ya firearm. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nasema ni vizuri kuwaelezea Wakenya, sio kubadilisha polisi wakuwe part of chiefs kuwa part of police. Hapana, kuna machiefs kadhaa wamejitokeza. Aswa wacha niongelelee Kerio Valley. Wakati bandits walikuwa wanaambia chiefs, kwa sababu wewe ndio unapeana information kwa serikali, nitakukujia usiku. Kuna machiefs ambao wali apply for firearm, wakuwe na firearm, na sisi tuna recommend kwa firearm licensing board kwamba muangalie after vetting yote, procedures yote, please musaidie our chiefs. Na few chiefs walipewa. Uzuri haitangazwi, kwa sababu mambo ya firearm sio kitu ya kutangazia kwa watu. Wacha ni watangazie, unajua mimi niko na bunduki, mjichunge. Hiyo ni siri ya mwenye ameapply na vile atatumia. Hata hawa chiefs wenye mimi unasikia natangaza, sio hata tutaita baraza. Hatuwezi kwenda kuita baraza kusema haya chiefs pangeni laini chukua bunduki. Hapana, ni private security assessment ku protect your chief kama anahitaji. Leo kwa mkutano kwa LWAC, chiefs wengi walisema itatosha kama tutapata NPR wakuwe na bunduki. Itatusaidia kufanya pora NPR kwa hiyo area wako na bunduki, tutashirikiana na hawa kufanya ile enforcement tunafanya. Si lazima tupewe kila mmoja bunduki. Pengine ile report vile nimesema ilienda ni kama kwamba tutapeleka sasa chiefs wote kwa kikanjo ama APTC waende wapigishwe mambo ya bunduki, shooting nini, ndio sasa tayari sasa wakuwe kama askari huko mbele. Hapana, that's not what we mean. Inategemea threat ya personal threat. Hata saa hizi wabunge wengine wako na bunduki, wengine hana, wengi hawana, wachache wako nayo. Na wenye wana apply wanasema my life is under danger, ninapambana na goons, ama kuna mtu amenitishia maisha, ama ninapitia njia zenye ziko na banditry, I will improve my security kama nitapewa bunduki. So it's important to clarify hiyo maneno vile inafaa.
Thank you very much, our CS, for that elaborate. We are live from Wajir with the CS, together with the media fraternity. Those who are listening us through the radio, also those who are watching us from online, please give us your comment, question. We'll give you also an opportunity. Now we'll go to our audience, the journalists, the members of the state. Who has the mic?
Yeah. Check. I'm Mohamed Saman from TV47 Kenya. Bona CS, yesterday you requested the Kenyans to fuel the police vehicles. Does this mean that your ministry does not have adequate funding? My second question is, why do we have administrative differences between the Inspector General of Police and the National Police Service Commission, the NPSC? Also, Bona CS, Wajir County has been recently recognized as one of the safest counties in Kenya. What is the measures you're taking to ensure the situation remains the same? And those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Saman.
Umesema jina ni?
Mohamed Saman.
Mohamed. Thank you. Asante sana Mohamed. Kwanza ni vizuri umeuliza hiyo swali ya mafuta. Sijui tutawaelezea watu namna gani, kwa sababu hii swali haikutokea tu kwa Mandera ama juzi nikiwa Kisumu ama sehemu zingine, ama tukiwa kwa one of the local TVs wakati tulikuwa na interview. Mambo ya mafuta, kuna Wakenya wengi ikiwa pamoja na ninyi mmewahi usikia polisi wakisema sorry, tungeenda huko lakini sina mafuta. Na ni vizuri sana mmenipatia nafasi nieleze hapa. Wakati Rais Uhuru Kenyatta alikuja ofisi, swala moja yenye tulikuwa tunajiuliza ni kwamba, ama alijiuliza, ama serikali ilijiuliza wakati huo, ni kwamba tutafanya aje ndio polisi wetu wapate magari na watamanage namna gani mambo ya mafuta. Ndio hii program inaitwa Police Car Leasing Program ikawekwa. Na ilisaidia sana kwa sababu magari kadhaa zilinunuliwa through the leasing program. Na hiyo leasing program, gari zote conclusion ya agreement nafaa sana Wakenya wafuate. Conclusion ya hiyo agreement ilikuwa ni kwamba tunanunua gari, tuna lease gari kwa ile kampuni inatulisia, na kila gari itapewa 450 liters ya mafuta. Na hiyo mafuta itachukuliwa kwa sehemu fulani. Kama ni ya mafuta ya hapa Wajir, inachukuliwa hapa Wajir town. Okay? Kama ni county kama Mandera, inachukuliwa nadhani bwana Haji Mandera pia. Kuko Mandera. Now, ukienda Turkana, watu wa Turkana wanachukua yao Kitale. Ukichukua Kitale. Remember, Turkana Kibish mpaka Kitale ni 450 kilometers. Na ukuje uchukue na uende ni karibu 1000 kilomita 1000 na umejaza mafuta 450 liters. So hiyo ndio the agreement iliwekwa. So Jukwaa la Usalama, nini ilifanyika kwa Jukwaa la Usalama? Katika Jukwaa la Usalama, polisi wamesema mafuta uisha kwa kaunti zingine between tarehe 18 na tarehe 20. Kwa hapa niliambiwa inaisha kwa some places inaisha tarehe 10. Tarehe 10 inachukua tu 10 days kwa sababu ya distance. Ukienda tu operation moja na urudi. Ukipeleka, in fact, yenye inamalizia mafuta polisi ni kwamba wanachukua gari wapeleke mabusu kwa kotini. Wakipeleka tu moja kutoka Elwak mpaka Mandera, kurudi mafuta imeisha. Hata hajaenda operation, amepeleka tu mtu kotini. So hiyo challenge iko na wamevumilia over time. Ni nini imefanya hiyo challenge kuwe more serious hizi? Ni kwa sababu population imeongezeka. In 10 years population imemultiply. More towns imefika. More roads imetengenezwa. More road accident imefanyika. Remember, police car ni hearse ya kubeba mwili mtu akikufa. Police car ni ambulance, na police car inabeba mabusu, na police car ni ya operation. So anything ikifanyika kwa hiyo area, polisi aende. Na hiyo mafuta yenye inafanya hiyo kazi yote ni that 450 liters. Operation sasa yenye inafanyika saa hizi kwa sababu population ni kubwa, reports inaongezeka. County yenye ilikuwa na college moja iko na TTI 4. Challenge ya insecurity inaongezeka because hiyo TTI 4 inaleta population karibu 20,000 yenye haikuwa kwa hiyo county before, ama 50,000. University imejengwa nini, watu wamemove, business increase, you need more patrols. Umesikia kwa Kenya wengi wanauliza kwa nini polisi hawafanyi patrol kama zamani? Ni kwa sababu they are managing this fuel. What I told Kenyans, and I want to repeat, and I will repeat. Wakati polisi akikwambia mafuta imeisha, sina mafuta, anamaanisha the 450 liters is over. Na ana mafuta sasa ya kuendea kwa sababu hawezi pewa ingine until end of the month. What IG amekuwa akifanya ni kuhakikisha kwamba sehemu yenye mafuta inahitajika for operation, for security operation, inapewa additional support, for operations. Lakini for the normal running around, it becomes a challenge kama hatutaongeza the amount. What is the suggestion from the NPS na sisi? Tumesema in the next negotiation yenye tunafanya kwa leasing ya mafuta ya magari, tunataka kunegotiate with Treasury tupeleke 650. Polisi wengine wame propose 750 but tupeleke 650. Number 2, collection point sasa, wale ambao wanatoa mafuta ikuwe contracted, ikuwe ni kwamba at least collection point ibaki kwa kila county. Ndio sasa watu wasienda mbali beyond their counties. Na counties kama hapa lazima tufanye also another consultation. Tuseme kama county kama Wajir ni 56 km square, ni haki kweli kwamba mtu mwenye anaenda border ya Ethiopia na hapa na Kenya, ama anaenda border ya Wajir na Isiolo, ni haki kwamba hiyo anatoka huko akuja achukue mafuta hapa, si afadhali aende Isiolo hapo, ama distance yenye alafu ama apelekewe to sub county level. So we have to have discussion. Kwa sababu ya Jukwaa la Usalama lazima tujiulize county kama Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Marsabit, Turkana, Tana River, Kajiado, Kitui, Tutaendelea kwa sababu ya land sites yenye wako nayo na West Pokot, Baringo, Samburu. Tutaendelea kuambia hawa lazima uende all the way, uende uchukue mafuta kwa Nanyuki. Ukitoka Malaso, uende all the way from Samburu. That is the conversation. Lakini kwa sababu kuna watu wako na cheap, yani conditions ya mine yao, kila kitu yenye polisi akisema ni corruption. The good thing about Jukwaa La Usalama, imelete democratization, an open discussion about the state of our security and security support. Kitu ambayo ilikuwa inafichwa zamani kusema hiyo ni siri, msiongelele. Now we're having a very good discussion across the country kuhusu fuel. The problem only, kuna watu very simplistic. Askari waliposema kwamba mtuongezee mafuta, kwa kijao wanasema ati wanauliza hongo. Please, for a moment, especially kama wewe ulienda shule mpaka unaenda kununua gazeti, unaenda kuandika gazeti, for a moment listen. Don't, this attitude of know it all. I saw some newspapers putting me in headline, others writing opinions, even some of my friends whom I know that they are really revered as very great journalists. Why can't they just engage kidogo? Hata uite OCS mbili tatu ulize na hii kitu ya mafuta mnasema ni nini? And then you're right. But because we have a know-it-all attitude, we have condemned police officers are corrupt. So therefore, they cannot even say simple facts about fuel allocation and the structure that we have. Thankfully, we have a solution for it. And the solution is to enhance the fuel. So if you find yourself in a situation, my brother, where police officer anakuambia, kweli niko na gari, lakini niko na mafuta allocation imeisha, don't always condition in your mind kwamba this is corruption. It is the real operational challenges that police are facing. And if you want to support, nobody will say you must support. No. The police officers can park the vehicle and wait for the next allocation next month. But practically speaking, what some county governments have been doing is to support the police outrightly and say, for whatever fuel allocation we have here, for the remaining days, as we wait for IG to respond to all over the country, let's give you some fuel to continue operation. And that cooperation has been great. Some business people, some Kenyans have been willing to do what they need to do. Now, what is funny is that people are telling me, oh, it's okay, we can support the police to build for them police station. We can support the police to ensure that we buy for them motor vehicle. But here fuel ni corruption. I think that is extremely simplistic. Does that mean we condone corruption? Of course not. Why are these people not reporting the Jukwaa La Usalama discussion we've been having and berating police officers about corruption? Telling them don't take bribes. Telling them don't take bribes in the roads. Don't take bribes to record statement. Don't take bribes to release suspects. We have said that over and over and again. Somehow, it doesn't gain the attention of those who want to use this fuel issue to. I'll repeat in every place where the police want that support, that we are working on the fuel to make it 650, and we problem of corruption. That now you give an officer mafuta kusema hii ni ya gari, you never know kama ataweka gari ama ataweka. Yeah, so that's why there was this listing that if you get the 450, so that then it is standardized. So it was a middle ground, but we can now improve the allocation. Thank you.
Thank you, our CS. I can see Abdul Fattah is already.
Sorry, Wajir is safe, very safe.
Thank you,
Yeah?
thank you.
No. One of the safest counties in the country is Wajir, and Kenyans should be able to come. You can see what we are doing here. Very good investment, good hotels, good business. Fantastic. And we will continue working hard to make sure that it remains safe.
Yes, Abdul Fattah.
Jambo Bwana CS Kipchumba Murkomen, karibu kaunti ya Wajir, kaunti 008. Kwa majina naitwa Abdul Fattah Ismail kutoka Bayan TV, which is an online TV station based here in Wajir. Niko na swali moja. Kwa miaka mingi Wakenya wamekuwa lalamika kwa miaka mingi Wakenya wamekuwa wakilalamika kuhusu ufisadi katika sekta ya katika recruitment process ya police, kuanzia hongo hadi upendeleo, jambo ambalo hali ambayo imeathiri imani kwa usalama ama sekta ya usalama. Je, wizara yako imechukua hatua gani kuhakikisha kuwa recruitment process ya police utakuwa haki mwaka huu? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kwanza kulikuwa na swali hapo awali kwamba kuna msozano kati ya police service na police commission.
Yes, sir.
Ningependa kuwaambia kwamba hakuna msozano yoyote. The National Police Service Commission, yeah, ni iko na polisi karibu 5. Kuna IG, kuna 2 deputy IGs, DCI is in attendance, kuna former police officers wawili. So hakuna ile ya kusema sasa ni kusema polisi wanajihujumu wenyewe. So commission iko sawa. Wakati wakikutana kuna variance of ideas kwa sababu ya composition. Lakini haimaanishi kwamba kuna msozano yote. Mwishowe wanakubaliana. Remember, hii ni security sector. At the end of the day hakuna mtu atasema mimi ni independent. Hapana, niliwaambia kwamba multi-agency structure ya Kenya ndio imetusaidia tupate results. Na hiyo ndio tutatumia throughout. Hakuna mtu atakuja mbele ya rais ambaye ni commander in chief na aseme mimi ni independent, sitashirikiana na mtu yoyote kusuluhisha shida za Kenya. Independence tu itakuwa ya investigations. Mambo ya kuinvestigate, hakuna mtu atasurutisha IG kumwambia lazima uinvestigate huyo, lazima ushike huyo, lazima hapana. Lakini kwa kazi hii ya kupambana na majangili, lazima tufanye pamoja. Ya kuboresha polisi, lazima tufanye pamoja. Huwezi kuniambia ni kazi yangu tu peke yangu kuboresha polisi, hapana, ni wote. Na commission tumewaambia kwamba wafanye kazi pamoja. Sisi tuko na responsibility kama wizara ya policy, na tukiona kuna mahali inaelekea kidogo tunawaambia as a whole, commission as a whole, kila moja a pull together kama vile tunafanya kwa multi agency level. Hiyo swali yenye umeuliza ya ulikuwa umesema
recruitment.
Recruitment. Yeah. Ndio sasa inaleta hiyo, ndio ilikuwa inasemekana kuna mvurutano. Hatuna mvurutano. Na ukikuja kwa recruitment, National Police Service Commission and the National Police Service are working together kuhakikisha kwamba ile process itakuwa transparent. Mtapewa mwelekeo wakati wa wote nao, kwa sababu walikuwa namalizia jinsi ambavyo kulikuwa na proposal kwamba watu kwanza wa apply mapema online, lakini bunge pamoja na Wakenya wengine especially from marginalized areas walisema hiyo itaumiza watu ambao wako marginalized areas, kwa sababu ukisema shortlisting itafanyiwa online Nairobi, by the time unafika ground hapa, mtu mwenye haku apply online na haku na internet anafika sasa, anafikiria amekuja recruitment, anaambiwa jina yako haiko, hatafikiria kwamba kuna rigging imefanywa huko mbele. So moja wepo ya kufanya ikuwe wazi ni kuhakikisha kwamba the recruitment imefanyika openly kwa ground hapo, na tulisisitiza from the ministry, niliambia commission kwamba as a policy direction mambo ya recruitment iishe by saa 10, na iishie hapo uwanja, na hakuna kitu ya kuambia watu sasa usiku kujeni for medical, kwa sababu hapo ndio ukora inafanyika. Pesa inalipwa usiku, inabadilishwa. Tumesema pia lazima kuwe na observers wanaangalia all the processes na ikuwe transparent, mpaka ina explain kwamba huyu amepata kwa sababu huyu amepata namna hiyo. Pia naomba wananchi msijue kwamba Mr. X anatembea na pesa anataka kununua na mnanyamaza. Fichua hiyo habari kwa DCI, tangaza kwa mtandao. Si nyinyi wa Kenya mmejua, mna record mtu mwenye anapeana pesa, tangaza Wakenya waone. Sema kwa recruitment center ya Wajir West kulikuwa na jamaa fulani anaitwa so and so amebeba pesa, anataka kulipa polisi ama anataka kulipa recruiting officer, ndio anunulie so and so ambaye hakuwa kwa laini, hakukimbia, hakuwa tested. Kuna vitu inabalansiwa, kuna divisions zitabalansiwa, regions zitabalansiwa, but eventually wale wote lazima waende through a process yenye iko transparent na inajulikana kwa Wakenya, kwa sababu mtu mmoja akifungiwa nje kwa makosa anaweza enda kotini na ako na haki, na sisi hatutaki ifike hapo. Sisi tunataka kulinda wanyonge, kwa sababu hata hawana pesa ya kwenda kotini. Mtu maskini hana hata pesa ya hata anajui mahali anaenda kucomplain. So tunataka hiyo njia ikuwe transparent. Hiyo kazi itafanywa tayari, imetangazwa kwa siku 5, na ninawaomba Wakenya wajitokeze kwa wingi, na ile procedure yenye itafanya ikuwe transparent itatangazwa na National Police Service and the Commission together in a number of days, so that kila mtu ajue itaenda kwa njia gani.
Thank you. Thank you, our CS. Yes, Suleiman. We give now only 2 people, then we go to online. Thank you.
Welcome, Bwana Waziri. My name is Suleiman Abdikadir, journalist with the Kalsan Media, an online digital media. So my first question is the issue of there's an issue of human trafficking that is so rampant and deep-rooted here in Wajir County. What is the Interior Ministry or the security of this country? What is the government doing about that issue? The second question, there is this trend, or let me put it as the disrespectful manner of disrespecting our flags. What is the government doing in safeguarding the sanctity of these national symbols? Thank you.
Asante sana. Nitakuwa brief kwa sababu najua uko na pressure ya time. Kwanza, kwa hii shida ya human trafficking, haitafanywa na serikali peke yake. Remember, wale wengi wanasema wanaenda safari ya kwenda kutafuta kazi, ambao especially kwa sehemu hii, wanaambia wazazi yao ati wanaenda kutafuta kazi, lakini wanapita barabara kuingia Ethiopia, kuzunguka hiyo njia, na wanajipata huko Libya. Ni vizuri kwamba wazazi na jamii wakuwe waangalivu sana kwa watoto wao. Lazima tujitokeze na tutoe habari. Mtoto akikwambia kwamba amepata kazi Europe na anatembea kwa mguu anaingia Ethiopia, ujue kwamba hiyo ni utapeli. Pia our chiefs tuambie leo wakuwe waangalivu katika locations zao, kumake sure kwamba wale actors wenye wanajiingiza kwa mambo haya lazima yashughulikiwe. Kuna wengine pia wanatapeliwa na agencies ambao wanajifanya au wana recruit watu kwa kazi. Hiyo investigation inaenda, kuna cases ambayo nimeona DCI anashughulikia, watu ambao wamepotea na wengine wanahadaliwa. Nimewahi kuulizwa maswali haya kwa bunge na nimeenda kujibu kadri ya vile IG alitupatia ripoti ambazo zinaendelea. So trafficking ya watu in the name of kazi, in the name of education, na wanajipata Libya, alafu ransom inaulizwa. Na unajua watu wengi wakisikia watoto wao wanasema wamepata kazi, wanafikiria ni siri, hata hawaambii jirani, hata waulizi chief confirm to me hii kazi ni ya ukweli ama, kwa sababu wanafikiria wamepata kazi ya siri, wanataka kuepa ati sasa utajiri imenifikia, sitaki mtu mwingine asikie. Kwa ni vizuri kufuata zile njia, na njia mwafaka ni kuhakikisha kwamba wale wote ambao wanataka kusafiri wachukue ujumbe kwa ofisi ya diaspora hapa Kenya, kwa ofisi ya mambo ya employment, National Employment Authority, watafute support ya local administration, kianza chief na assistant chief. Si kwamba watu wajitokeze kwa siri katika mambo haya. Kwa mambo ya disrespecting our flag, niliona jana kwa mtandao kwamba baada ya mchezo ya mpira kuna watu ambao walikuwa na disrespect bendera ya Kenya, na niliambiwa na Inspector General kwamba ofisi yake ilikuwa inaangalia kupitia ofisi ya DCI kuangalia ni kina nani na ilikuwa kwa minajili gani, na uvunjaji wa sheria ambao umefanyika watafanya nini. Kwa sababu tutawacha hiyo iende kwa ile process ya kisheria ionwe kwanza. Lazima kuna sheria ya kutosha ya National Flags and Emblems Act ambayo inasema jinsi ambavyo bendera inafaa kuheshimiwa na vile ya kutumia, na wale kama utamishuse bendera ya Kenya consequences ni njia gani, na hiyo sheria itafuata mkondo wake.
Thank you very much. We'll give the last to the audience, one person. Jamal, I can see your hands is up. Any person can go if ready.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Bwana Waziri, welcome to the safest county in Kenya. And my question is only one. And what are the plans of your ministry on the establishment of and some essential offices, that is NTSA office and the migration office in Wajir County, since this is a big county and we cannot travel every day to Garissa and other counties to acquire those essential documents?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kwanza, Wajir is safe. Ama ni safe kwa sababu wananchi wanapenda safety. So nilikuwa nimeulizwa hapo awali tutafanya nini ndio iendelee kuwa salama. Pia kama wananchi tujiulize tufanye nini ndio Wajir yetu iendelee kuwa salama. Tukue waangalifu. Tukue tayari kupasha habari kwa polisi kwa mambo ambayo haswa ukiona kwamba there are suspicious characters katika sehemu yetu ya Kenya. Tupambane na mambo ya ukoo, vita ya kupigania maji, nyasi na mambo ya ukoo. Tukifanya hivyo, Wajir itaendelea kupata sifa ya kuwa one of the safest county in the country kama vile mmesema, na kubaliana na wewe kabisa kwamba hiyo ndio kitu ya maana. Umeuliza
mambo ya NTSA office and
Huduma Center. Mambo ya NTSA kwa sehemu nyingi tulienda kwa Jukwaa La Usalama. Wananchi wanasema kwamba ile Huduma Center iko katika kila county, iongeze pia huduma inayohusikana na yale yanatoka kwa NTSA. NTSA specifically inafaa tuhakikishe kwamba hiyo Huduma Center na tutapasha habari, na najua kesho katika Jukwaa La Usalama also watu watauliza, tutapasha habari kwa NTSA kwamba services zao mingi ya driving license na renewal ya magari na mambo yoyote yanafaa kuletwa kwa Huduma Center, ikuwe part of the services tunapata kwa Huduma Center. Ile ya immigration tutafanya assessment. Tayari tuko na ofisi ya region kwa Garissa. Lazima pia tutaangalia kama itafika kiwango kwamba hiyo ya region haitoshi, tunaweza kuleta ikuje sehemu hii. Barabara ikiundwa hivi karibuni, region itakuwa karibu, lakini bado itakuwa ni kilomita mingi. Lazima tufanye assessment kuhakikisha pengine itakuwa ni bora kuleta ofisi nyingine hapa Wajir, na ni vizuri vile umekuwa mmoja ya wale wameitisha hiyo services. Assessment itafanywa na ikifika kiwango yenye itakuwa tayari tunaweza leta pia immigration services ikuje katika Wajir County.
Thank you very much. Tuko kwa Jukwaa La Usalama na ningependa Wakenya wote wadumishe salama. Naona mikono zimekuwa mingi, lakini kabla turudi kwa audience, naenda online. We have questions from online. Please be patient. Isa Kaile is asking, how is the ministry strengthening collaboration between security agents and local community, including elders, religious leaders, and youth to prevent radicalization and violence extremism? Also, Hashim Abu Salman is asking, there is an emerging issue in Wajir whereby petrol stations have been targeted by thugs who have been released from jails in different parts of this country, and they have been going around in all petrol stations, stealing money, breaking their safes. As a CS, now that you're in Wajir, how will you assure and how will you curb this insecurity that is targeting the business community, especially the petrol stations doing business in Wajir? There's also a question on the flag. That one you have answered. And I think also the online you have had the CS on those who are disrespecting our flag. Also, Meli Edwin is asking, how comes a police officer can be transferred from Turkana to Osingishu, then to Garissa in 7 months? Where is the morality? We'll answer those 3 questions, then we'll go back to our panelists. Thank you.
Kwa mambo ya radicalization involving local community, religious leaders, nilikuwa nimesema hapo awali kwamba tuko na department ya peace building katika wizara. Tutahakikisha kwamba tuna strengthen kidogo, na pia wa officers wamekuwa kiuliza AI ikuwe enhanced, especially sub-county security committees and the county security committee, yenye itawawezesha kufanya engagement na community na engagement and the leaders. Pia tuna policy yenye tumemalizia ya mambo ya village elders. Tunataka kuona village elders watakuwa facilitated namna gani, na airtime na some small allowance, kuona ile kazi wanatufanyia watusaidie aswa kwa hizi sehemu za northern part of the country. Kazi ya elders is almost as important as having a chief and assistant chief. They have played a very critical role. If there is a place yenye natupush sana kufikiria mambo ya elders, ni sehemu hizi, kwa sababu ya ile kujitolea na kazi yenye ambayo wanafanya. Pia tuko na department ya polisi ambayo inahusikana na mambo ya radicalization. Wakishajua kwamba mtu fulani amekuwa exposed to radical ideas, kuna njia ambayo anapelekwa. Na pia tunataka strengthen services ya counseling na mambo mengine ambayo yanafaa kusaidia wale ambao wamepitia kama hizo changamoto. Na kwa hivyo kuna our security team kwa multi-agency level wako na plan ya anti-radicalization, especially kwa sehemu hii yenye tuko na operation ya mambo ya border. Ya pili ni hiyo mambo ya kutarget police stations. I think tutajadiliana kesho kwa Jukwaa La Usalama aswa asubuhi. So bwana IG yako hapa, you take note of hiyo swali. Ndio kesho asubuhi wakati tutakutana na county security team, watatuelezea vizuri ni strategy gani. Ikumbuke kwamba hatujafanya Jukwaa La Usalama ya Wajir, tutafanya kesho asubuhi, na IG ata note your question na ndajibu kwa forum kesho wakati tutakuwa kwa county forum. In detail ni nini hiyo wanataka petrol station, na kwa nini hatujafanya kazi kama askari wetu ama security team ya Wajir, tunafanya nini kuhakikisha haya yameshughulikiwa. Hii transfer ya polisi kutoka Turkana amekuja Uasin Gishu na amerudi kuja sehemu hii. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nasema hapo awali kwamba thanks to Jukwaa La Usalama, IG ataweka policy in place na tutafanya pamoja, kwa sababu policy directions ni kazi ya ofisi yangu. Tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba work pamoja on the policy ya transfer yenye itakuwa fair. Mtu atoki Turkana kwa 7 months ako hapa na ako pale. In fact, officers wengi ya ngao walisema kwamba hata wenye wanatembea na watoto yao wanachanganyikiwa, kwa sababu unataka kutoka mtoto kwa hii shule ende hii shule and so forth. Lazima ikue in a proper way. Na kwa hivyo hiyo itashughulikiwa na IG kuhakikisha kwamba transfer imekuwa fair na policy directions itatolewa.
We are short of time, and we have reached the end of our show, Jukwaa La Usalama, Wajir County. Now, we are very thankful to our CS for visiting Wajir and Northern Kenya in order to have dialogue with the community, in order to safeguard the security of this country. So most welcome as you stay until tomorrow and have dialogue with our community. We'll really appreciate, and we would like you to come back again to have the same dialogue so that we can continue with the security of this country and strengthen our border, because Wajir borders with the 2 countries, that is Ethiopia and Somalia. So we have porous borders, and we really appreciate your efforts. So come back again and enjoy our milk and meat. Karibuni. Thank you.
Thank you. Allow me to say thank you very much, Alima, for good moderation, the journalists from this region, the one from the national level. I always really feel very gratified that such an event can happen in frontier counties, and I hope that we can do more and more of this. One of my interviews, we did it in Turkana, and I was very excited about it. I'm very happy about this one here in Wajir. I look forward to coming back so that we can assess. Jukwaa La Usalama say this, 6 months down the line, how much have we achieved? Because we are not in the business of having a talk shop. We must be held into account for every promise that we've made. And I think that the report that will come from the Jukwaa La Usalama will inform the policy decisions we are going to have. And we will announce this to every Kenyan. It's also unique that we have an IG, a DIG, a DCI who can stay this late night just to discuss matters of security and engage the public. It shows that bottom-up is working. Number 2, it shows that these officers have the humility to present themselves before the people and be asked questions. There's nothing for us to hide. We are ready to be held into account. And everything that we say, we mean it. It's not like it's an afterthought. And lastly, let me say that I want to thank the regional security team who are here, the county security team for the work they have been doing. And I look forward to a more re-energized team thanks to the conversations we've had in Jukwaa La Usalama that will ensure that we continue being a safe county and look forward to this county attracting more and more Kenyans to come and invest here. And I tell you, let the road get finished up to here. You will see the population of this Wajir will double in a very short time. And that's what infrastructure does, and that's what the president has done to open up this region. I also, allow me 1 minute to say, I want to ask residents of this county and this region. The president in this town removed the extra vetting for IDs. Please take advantage of that opportunity to make sure that we register as many people as possible who have not had the benefit of having ID. You know, in the past, vetting was happening and only once in a month. Now there's nothing like that. In fact, for your advantage, we are bringing in live capture machines where you don't need to take papers to Nairobi. Once you are registered, the documentation goes direct to Nairobi, your ID is printed. For example, the people tomorrow I will be meeting in the registration center there, they will get their IDs in 3 days because there is no papers to be sent, just for the ID to be brought. And since here there is air transport to be brought, after 3 days, people should be able to get their IDs. And working with county government, the leaders, we will now do mobile registration. These machines can be taken to various parts of the county and give people their right. Remember also the president gave directives that all people taking ID for the first time should be free. And that is, again, an area that you must take advantage because this is now free. There's no 300 shillings that used to be paid. We also know that birth certificate and death certificates need to be taken to all the 15 sub-counties. That is part of our discussion tomorrow. We will be working through the relevant office, the one that Citizen Services Office, Civil Services Office will make sure that birth certificate and death certificate are taken closer to the people so they do not travel so far to get this documentation. So we are working. We are opening doors. We are fulfilling constitutional responsibilities of inclusivity, and never again shall any part of this country be told that there are less of shareholders in their own republic. I thank you and look forward to a great engagement tomorrow. Asante sana.
Thank you.